So the person who tricked me into buying this car had the wrong spark plugs in it, and they were using the wrong oil. So we're going to do some detective work and go through the service records and try to figure out what they were doing and why. Because maybe I'm the idiot here and these are top secret racing modifications that I don't understand, but I don't know why someone would put the wrong spark plugs and the wrong oil in it. So we've got our service records here, and they start at 40,000 miles. So I'm guessing that's going to be the second owner, and the first owner didn't use this book. So 12/21/2006, it had 41,000 miles, and they're using 1550 oil, which is really weird because the VW manual says you're supposed to use 540, and if you can't find 540, use 530. And I've always used the Liquid Moly 540. That's the same oil I used in the R32. Pretty sure that's what everyone uses, but maybe these people are geniuses. So Ken's Automotive did that, and then Stuttgart Motor Works also put 1550 in it. Really weird that you would document putting the wrong oil in a car. I get it that if the customer wants it, the customer's always right, but the customer's always wrong. That's crazy. So then you're bringing it to Eurotechnic at 52,000 miles, and they're putting 1550 in it. So here's where they changed the spark plugs at 57,000 miles, and I'm pretty sure they weren't changed after that, because I got the car with 129,000 miles, and it needed a ton of work. So, and a little more detective work, there's some insurance cards in here from the previous owner, not the person I bought it from though, and going by the title, that person only owned it for a year. So I think what happened is that girl owned it, because if you look at the service records here, it's like "Love you, sweetie," and I think it was like her boyfriend getting her car serviced. So that girl had the spark plugs changed where they were using the wrong oil and the wrong plugs. And then she sold it to the person I bought it from, and he probably got some quotes to fix it, and that's when he realized he just needed to dump it. Because the heater core and stuff like that's a pretty big job. The water pump, even the valve cover gasket, if you had a shop do that, it'd probably be pretty expensive. So on to the problem with the spark plugs. After I did the valve cover gasket, I was going to replace them. So I just picked up some cheap ones because I didn't even know if I could get the car working. And when I got home, I realized they're longer than the ones that were in the car, which is kind of a problem. I did the measurements here. They're 1 millimeter longer. So I was really scared to put a longer spark plug in the car because I didn't want it to hit the pistons or the valves. But according to every website and all the parts stores, these are the plugs that fit my car, and these short plugs, if you put in this part number, it says it doesn't fit my car. That's an F8DPP33. And the only way I can even get this to pull up is if you add an R between the F and the 8. So that was the last major service in the records here. Everything else is just oil filters and tire rotations. And they went up until 86,000 miles, 91,000 miles, Baker Motor Company, and then that's it. And then we keep our service records on the hood. So all the research that I did, I don't really see any benefit to running the 1550 oil. We do live in a warmer climate, but at operating temperature, I think it's about the same as 540. I think the biggest difference would be in cold starts. So if you say, yeah, you're going to run 1550 because it's a high RPM car, so if you're going to do a lot of highway driving, it's 2,500 RPMs at 55 miles an hour, so it's just terrible. But I don't think 1550 makes much of a difference at operating temperature. But is this super secret racing stuff that I don't know about, where you put a shorter plug, or... You're supposed to run premium gas in the VR6. Most people don't know that. So we'll go open the gas store and I'll prove it. So right here on your gas door, unleaded fuel only, premium, minimum 91. So a lot of times you're going to have to get 93, but you're not really supposed to put cheap 87 gas in this. And here's the problem that I have. A lot of the gas stations around here only have one hose. So to get true premium, you have to go to a gas station where they have a nozzle for each grade. Because if you get 87 and I pull up and get premium, I'm getting a bunch of 87, right?